Have you ever noticed that the moment you tell someone about a big goal, your motivation starts to fade? You haven't even started, yet you already feel a strange sense of satisfaction. There's a psychological trap hidden in your words, and if you don't learn to stay quiet, your biggest dreams will die before they ever take root. In a small village, there lived a young man named Simon. Simon was a man of big ideas. One week, he was going to open the village's largest shop. The next, he was going to be a master of pottery. But Simon had a fatal habit. Before he even touched a tool, he told everyone. He would stand in the market square and shout his plans to the wind. The villagers would clap. They would smile. They would tell him how successful he was going to be. That praise felt like a drug. Simon would go home feeling important and proud. But the next morning, when it was time to actually sweat, the fire was gone. He felt finished before he had even begun. After years of empty hands and broken promises, Simon sought out a village elder. The elder led him to a garden and showed him to seeds. One seed was buried deep in the dark, damp soil. The other was placed on a high rock for everyone to see. The elder gathered the local children and pointed at the seed on the rock. "Look at this seed," he cried. "It will be the most magnificent tree this village has ever seen." The children cheered. Weeks passed. The seed on the rock, the one everyone talked about, dried up in the sun. It was pecked at by birds and eventually blown away by the wind. It never changed. But the seed in the dark? It stayed hidden. It stayed quiet. It struggled against the weight of the earth in total silence. And then, one morning, a strong green shoot broke through the surface. The elder turned to Simon and said, "A dream is like a seed. It needs the silence of the earth to grow. When you share your plans too early, the praise of others tricks your brain into thinking the work is already done. You waste the energy for action on the pleasure of words." Simon went home and did something he had never done before. He decided to build a simple wooden chair. But this time, he told no one. When he felt excited, he worked. When he felt tired, he worked. Because no one was watching. There was no pressure to perform, only the quiet conversation between his hands and the wood. When the chair was finally finished, Simon felt a new kind of pride. Not the hollow pride of a loud mouth, but the heavy, solid pride of a craftsman. Only then did he set it outside his house. How many of your dreams have dried up on the rock because you let too much light in too soon? The world doesn't need to know what you are going to build. It needs to see what you have built. Your energy is a finite resource. Don't spend it on talking. Spend it on the work. Next time you have a world-changing idea, do yourself a favor. Keep it a secret. Let it grow in the dark. Let your success be your noise. If this story resonated with you, it's a sign to go quiet and get to work. Comment silence is strength if you're moving in private from now on. Subscribe to the Bamboo Minds for more stories that rebuild your mindset. Thank you for listening.